looks like he's going for the win. Butler heaves and hits with 0.4 of a second remaining.
Jimmy Butler, can he win it here? It is Butler for the win. Yes! Butler buries the three with 0.3 of a second to go.
Game time! Game time! What a pass! Oh, let me step back and kiss myself! Big time plays make big time plays! Woo!
My mom kicked me out of my house, to tell the truth, and I bounced in and out of guys' houses in high school. I think it was hard. I had to grow up at a young age, and I had to be able to not really take care of myself. I had help, but I was on my own for the most part, and that's the way I felt. I don't need anybody to feel bad for me or anything. I just, I made it. That's another chip that I kind of carry around with me, so to get me over hard times. I can make it out of there, and any kid can make it out of any situation if they put their mind on it and never give up on their dream.
Go with Jimmy Butler. I love going like this. It's so much fun. Jimmy Butler's the man. He's a great person, great outside shooter, and he's just an overall great guy, and I think that's the most important part. I'm going to miss Jimmy next year.
With the 30th pick in the 2011 draft, the Chicago Bulls select
Buckets!
And a foul.
The G stands for gets! Oh!
That's a 3 and a foul.
That's a killer!
The road to success is rarely an easy one. Many fall and stumble along the way, and others just give up before the journey even begins. The strongest people are the ones who keep going no matter how many detours life gives them. Jimmy Butler is an all-star in the NBA who endured the path that was set for him. And because he did, he is now worth millions. From being told, "I don't like to look at you, you gotta go," by his own mother, to becoming a valuable player for his respective team. Jimmy Butler struggled countless of times, but despite it all, he stuck to what he knew best and became the player and person he is today.
Anybody can make it out of any situation if they have the right people around them.
Born in Houston, Texas, Butler's father abandoned his family when he was an infant. By the time he was 13 years old and living in Houston suburbs of Tomball, his mother kicked him out of the house. As Butler remembered in a 2011 interview, she told him, "I don't like the look of you. You gotta go." I just want to pause for a minute and want you to imagine your own birth parent, mother or father, telling you that at the age 12 or 13.
You're obviously a product of hard work. How would you characterize your childhood from, let's say, around 12 or 13 on up?
I think it was hard. I had to grow up at a young age, and I had to be able to not really take care of myself. I had help, but I was on my own for the most part, and that's the way I felt.
So what happened when you were in Tomball, Texas, around 13 years old?
My mom kicked me out of my house, to tell the truth, and I bounced in and out of guys' houses in high school.
Yeah, sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Okay, resume. But for Jimmy, it was harsh reality. However, he chose to never be a victim of his circumstances. During his late middle school and early high school years, he went couch hopping from one friend or teammates' houses to the next. Jimmy continued to bouncing from one house to another throughout high school until the summer before his senior year. A freshman, Jordan Leslie, at the time, and who eventually would play as a wideout in the NFL, changed his life. The two hit it off and became friends, and soon after, family. It all started when Jordan told Jimmy he could spend the night over his house.
I mean, I was always like, "Man, you can stay tonight. My mom won't care." And then I'd just be like, "Oh, just one more night." And it just kind of developed into a week and then a month.
One night led to a couple nights led to weeks. Weeks led to months, and yeah, you get the picture.
He stayed upstairs and wouldn't come downstairs and sent Jordan down to get him food. So I guess he thought if he wasn't seen, no one would know he was there.
I felt like if nobody knew I was there, they couldn't get tired of me.
Jordan's mom, Michelle Lambert, accepted Jimmy with open arms. Jimmy stated,
Like I said, my senior year, I found a stable home that just kept me, not because they thought I would be anything in basketball or because I'd be here interviewing on ESPN, but just because they're good people and they do good things, and they felt it was the right thing to do. And without them, I definitely wouldn't be in this position.
there were already 7 children in the family, but Michelle was able to give Jimmy the home he deserved.
It's hard because, you know, people say you just take a child you don't even know. And, you know, and people think different things and say different things. And not to say that someone didn't come to me and say, oh, don't let him in, supposedly he's done this. You've got to go with your gut. He's brought more to us than ever we could bring to him.
It's family, that's what that is. And, you know, people say, oh, that's not blood. Well, they were always there. And I have nothing against anybody else, but I know whenever you ask me my family, you'll get those names, you'll get those people.
When was the last time you even had any kind of conversations with your biological parents?
I saw her at my sister's wedding in September, and that was it. I talked to my dad here and there.
Mail time.
The mail's here. Come on. Bye, guys.
Do it! Just do it! Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
True story. The reason I started playing basketball is because I was a football player first in Texas.
Whenever I was like in 6th, 7th grade,
You had to like football, and basketball kind of kicked in around the 7th grade. I started playing organized ball.
but then I wasn't a fan of the sun, wasn't a fan of the heat. Plus, I was tiny. I was like 5'3". Everybody else started growing. I was like, I don't want to get crushed. I'm going to move inside to the AC, shoot at the orange rim. And that's when, like, the love of basketball came along.
As a senior and team captain in 2006 and 7, Jimmy averaged 19 points and 8 rebounds per game and was voted his team's most valuable player. Butler was not heavily recruited out of high school and chose to attend Tyler Junior College in Tyler, Texas. He put up a good performance in his first year at Tyler Junior College, where he had averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, which generated interest from Division I teams. He was ranked the 127th junior college prospect in 2008, while being regarded as a 2-star recruit by 24/7 Sports.
How does a guy like you not have even a single Division I offer?
You know, it was Tomball, so it was in the middle of nowhere for the most part. Not country, as everybody would think, but, you know, not many people can come out of there. And made it to JUCO and, you know, got a little bit of exposure and made it. I think TJC is where it all started for me when it comes to college basketball. This is where it all began for me. I'm grateful. Thank you for all of this. This is much more than I could have ever imagined.
We didn't play very well. We were a top 10 team in the country and we lost. And by about 10 o'clock the next morning after the game, he was in my office just searching for answers on how to be better. And from that day forward, I always thought he was going to be great because most people pout through failure. In his case, he just continued to say, okay, I made a mistake. I was wrong, but I'm not going to do it again. And then he just exploded the rest of the year.
It was then Jimmy was offered a scholarship by Marquette University, which he accepted. This was the first time he was out of Texas and was fighting homesickness. Young Jimmy considered leaving Marquette and moving back home to Texas.
Like, I was always like, I want to come home. I want to transfer. Like, because he was so hard on me. Like, I was so far away from home, you know, homesick. I'm still a kid.
But his mom, Michelle, insisted that he should see the opportunity through. and her advice didn't disappoint.
And then every day, well, obviously I got Trent's jersey up. It's important people to me. You got me, my brother, my mom, my dad. I love y'all. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Hopefully I play well for y'all tonight. Then I got my pregame snacks. Sour Patch Kids every morning after breakfast in class, something like that. It's not too healthy for me, but it's just, I've been doing it since high school.
It was at Marquette that Jimmy met his new inspiration and father figure, head coach Buzz Williams. Coach Williams was hard on Butler, and Butler knew that he was being hard on him.
He watched me play. The very first thing he said to me was, "Jimmy, you suck." I was like, "Oh, I don't even know you. Like, I don't, you know, like I'm a kid." I'm just like, "That's cool."
That he would potentially end up being the difference maker, which is why he wanted to go home, because I was extremely difficult in coaching him, because I thought that he could evolve into being a guy towards the end of the year that could help us.
It's apparent that both men saw pieces of themselves in one another in their relationship, especially when it comes to value of work ethic. Over his time at Marquette, Williams became one of Butler's closest confidants. The time the pair spent on the floor together forged a relationship that became something even greater over the years. Buzz has always been there for me, like a father figure, because he introduced me to this whole hard work thing, Butler said. But I love that guy. He's so emotional. I guess that would make Buzz, Buzz. He moved into the starting lineup as a junior during the 2009 and 10 campaign to average 14 points, 6 rebounds, and earned all Big East honorable mention honors. His season was highlighted by 2 game-winning shots versus UConn and St. John's to help Marquette finish 11-17 in the Big East and earn its 5th consecutive NCAA tournament appearance. As a senior in 2010 and 11, he averaged 15 points per game and earned an All-Big East honorable mention for the 2nd straight year.
Butler gonna go again, stripped by Booth. His turnaround, got it at the buzzer!
They're gonna check that one. Obviously, they have to by rule, but my instincts say that was a good shot right there.
Well, thank y'all for coming out. That was the game day of me, Jimmy Butler. You know, you saw what I do, how I get prepared. But it's night time. Got to get in here and get some rest. So y'all come back out. Appreciate it.
By time the 2011 NBA draft rolled around, when coaches and executives called Coach Buzz to talk about Butler's potential, Williams raveled about the possibilities.
Even as a senior, it became his versatility became so valuable that we couldn't take him off the floor. And so I think that his game has evolved. I think the thing that has been such a great trait for him is his intelligence.
I was incredibly hard on him. In what way, Buzz? In every possible way. Sometimes bordering too much in the wrong way, to be honest with you. But he endured it. But more importantly, he's flourished from it. And I've learned way more from him than he's learned from me.
He's able to think the next play. He's able to think the next pass and react accordingly, whether he's on offense or defense. And I think that those are things that he's had 17 NBA workouts, and I think that teams are really beginning to see that more and more.
For him, I'm proud for him. But it doesn't have anything to do with me. He's earned it through his character and through his work ethic. And I think bigger things are coming. Even though this is way bigger than any dream he ever had, I think there's more coming. And so I'm really happy for him.
Los Angeles Clippers head coach Doc Rivers, then at the Boston Celtics, was on the other end of one of those conversations with Williams. Rivers himself, a fellow Marquette alum, loved Butler's story, but he admits now that he didn't see him turning out to this kind of a player. "I did not see this coming, honestly," Rivers said. Like Rivers, Bulls GM couldn't have envisioned Butler blossoming into the player that he has become, but he liked what he saw on film and liked the demeanor that Butler played with. All teams were uninterested, but with the last pick of the first round,
With the 30th pick in the 2011 draft, the Chicago Bulls select Jimmy Butler from Marquette University. This is the end of the first round.
Instantly burst out into tears with my mom because I just felt like all the hard work that I've done, like all the people that tell me that I wouldn't amount to anything, that I couldn't be an NBA player, that I wouldn't get my degree, I wouldn't go to college, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. But more than anything, it was I proved myself right. I could care less about proving them wrong. I wanted to prove to myself that if I said I could do it, I put my mind to it, and I did it.
Marquette was great. Buzz was a hard-nosed coach who based everything off of toughness and defense. So, you know, if you weren't tough, you wouldn't survive, and if you didn't want to play defense, you couldn't make it. So, but Buzz, he's a good guy, and Marquette's a great place to play ball at. It's a really great basketball school and education school. So Marquette was a great fit for me.
After being homeless as a child, Jimmy didn't like talking about his past that much, which was very humbling because I'm sure we all know a few players in the league that will want all the fame and glory for their come up. Please, I know you're going to write something. I'm just asking you, don't write it in a way that makes people feel sorry for me. I hate that. There's nothing to feel sorry about. I love what happened to me. It made me who I am. I'm grateful for the challenges I faced. Please don't make them feel sorry for me, Jimmy Butler told ESPN during a pre-draft interview. In his rookie season, which happened to be the 2011-12 lockout season, Butler saw little playing time, featuring in 42 games. Veteran shooting guard Rip Hamilton used to say Jimmy shot the ball like it was a dart. There wasn't much arc to his shot. Butler rarely played any meaningful minutes in his first lockout shortened season, but his defense was noticeable from the outset. It was just the offense that needed a little work. He spent hours upon hours working on his shot. When I first came to the Bulls, I didn't know I would even make it past the first few years. I am looking at Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, guys I grew up thinking were the best players in the world. I adapted and found a way to stick around and become decent, keeping my head above waters, he said. If I want to stay, I have to continue to work and continue to live and act like I'm just trying to keep my head above water and do whatever it takes to stay here, Jimmy stated. After stepping into the starting lineup to start the 2013 and 14 season, Butler struggled to find his offensive consistency, shooting just 39% from the field. When trusted teammates and close friend Luol Deng was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers in early January of 2014, Butler struggled to find his confidence at times on the floor. The defense was never in doubt. He would go on to be named the second-team All-NBA defense after that season. In July 2015, Butler signed a 5-year contract with the Bulls worth $95 million, which allowed a player option in the 5th year. On January 3rd, 2016, in a game against the Toronto Raptors, Jimmy broke Michael Jordan's record for points recorded in a half after he dropped 40 points to lead the Bulls to an inspiring win.
Damari Carroll, Butler, and he gets a Butler again, a drive, and that time
That's just pure strength and determination right there.
Rose has been quiet for a while. Lowry out of the game. Butler hangs first and said, let's roll. Jimmy driving, shooting with the left hand and scoring.
Lowry take a difficult shot.
Butler raises up, fires.
Oh, Jimmy G buckets. The G stands for gets. Oh!
I'm going to come out being aggressive. They got me the ball, set great screens, and I finished a couple at the rim.
He continued in his impressive form until he sustained a left knee injury in a game against the Denver Nuggets, and the injury ruled Butler out of action for 4 weeks.
City, I've landed my new home, Minnesota, Minneapolis. I'm I'm so excited to get started. I can't wait to meet and interact with everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. And I'm ready to win, I'm ready to lead, I'm ready to get this city on track.
In the 2017-2018 season, it was then when he was traded to the Timberwolves. Butler was in a good form as always. He earned Eastern Conference Player of the Week on January 8th. He secured a place in the starting squad of the Eastern Conference All-Star team scheduled to play at the 2017 All-Star Game. Towards the end of the 2017-2018 season, Butler made it known that he had no plan of re-signing with the Timberwolves in the 2019 offseason by requesting a trade-off.
It's expected. Somebody's got to take the blame. I'll be that guy. I'm okay with it. I'm fine. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. But with that being said, my phone's in my back pocket right now. If whoever has anything to say to me, feel free. 773-899-6071. So if you want to interview, there you have it. Please do.
When a trade-off couldn't be met, he resolved to play in Minnesota Timberwolves the next season. Only for like the first half though, because on November 12, 2018, he was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. He made his debut 2 days later by scoring 14 points against Orlando Magic. On December 5th, he scored a season-high 38 points against Toronto Raptors. Butler continued in his great form, helping the Sixers to the playoffs where they lost to the Raptors. On July 6, 2019, Butler signed with the Miami Heat and is now currently dominating the 2020 playoffs, sending players home, like literally, out of the bubble. And to think a player that had all odds against him as a young kid growing up, not being wanted by his biological mother, bouncing from couch to couch to now dominating at the highest level is amazing to see. Butler became an all-star, played on the USA basketball team, and made millions. But despite all his accomplishments, he remained humbled and continued to work hard day in and day out. Remember, be kind. You never know what someone has been through or is currently going through.
It's within these walls that, there's nothing that I can do to show y'all how much love that means to me, that y'all support me. When I say I'm from Tomball, we're all from Tomball. This is for all of us. All these all-stars, my NBA, all this and all that. I do that for y'all, man, just to let y'all know that anybody from any town can be whatever y'all want to be. I mean that, and I say it every day because, I preach that and I believe it. Everybody that always told me, you're from Tomball, you're not big enough, you're not strong enough, nobody knows your name. Well, maybe a couple people know my name now. But until then, I love y'all, thank you, and hopefully I get to come back soon. It's just like I say, if you give somebody a chance and you're on their side and you tell them loving things, you never know what can happen. Anybody can make it out of any situation if they have the right people around them.